The intention of this refresher program is to give you an opportunity to recall and reinforce what you learnt during the Bridge Resource Management course. For this purpose, you will now see selected parts from each module of the course. It's important for the result of the training that you answer the questions in the refresher questionnaire and check your answers in the student's workbook from the initial Bridge Resource Management course. Attitudes and management skills. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to state the three truths, recognize common hazardous thoughts and state their opposite, safe thoughts, and recognize the role of Bridge Resource Management. There are several hazardous thoughts that can start to cause errors. These thoughts may not be conscious, and they may only happen under stress. If you detect these thoughts, then replace them immediately with their opposite, safe thoughts. I can do it. Most people take her in at 18 knots. I can take her in at 18 in fog.
Why take chances? What am I trying to prove?
Don't tell me what to do. I know best.
Follow the rules. They are usually right.
It won't happen to me. Accidents happen to other people.
It could happen to me.
Do something quickly. Anything.
Not so fast. Think.
It won't make any difference. There's no point in trying.
Don't give in. You can make a difference.
We've always done it that way. Why? Because we've always done it that way.
Then it's about time we changed.
It's not my job.
We are all on the same ship.
Cultural awareness. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to explain the need for cultural awareness, explain how people can vary, explain 5 ways of classifying national culture, group or individual, power distance, uncertainty avoidance, feminine or masculine, short or long term, and explain what you can do about it, the cultural wheel. Don't stereotype people. Individual variation is very wide. Don't assume people have your values. Don't offend people. There are cultural, religious, and body language rules that will offend certain cultures. Now things you should do. Let's introduce a cultural wheel to summarize. At the top is respect. You must respect other people's culture. Without respect from both cultures, good communication will not even start. Learn what motivates people as individuals and as members of their culture. They have reasons for their behavior. Pay careful attention to body language and to reactions. You may need a cultural interpreter, somebody familiar with a culture who can act as a link between 2 cultures. Explain your actions and give clear messages in simple language. Check understanding. Try to make procedures bypass culture. One way is to use written checklists. Checklists can reduce misunderstandings. Keep a consistent approach and attitude. Cultural communication is two-way. If the receiver can understand your culture, this can bring you both closer together. Use a person's name. This helps communication in most, if not all, cultures. And finally, work at increasing your understanding of a culture. Communication and briefings. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to state the principles of good bridge communication, setting the climate, interactive, closed loop. Recognize the importance of briefings, in particular a good master pilot information exchange and a change of watch briefing. And recognize the importance of debriefings.
Captain. Good afternoon. Welcome aboard. My name is Michael Johnson. Sid Livingston. Pleased to meet you. After you. Thank you. We finished our briefing, getting ready for departure. The pilot card is here, and later on, I'll show you the navigation equipment.
Thank you very much. You have a pretty deep draft.
Do you have a zigzag test for this draft? Yes. Here it is.
Thank you. Well, Captain, your ship's well equipped. Now, I'll explain the procedures when leaving, and I'd like you to have a look at my route plan.
Excuse me. Eric, Peter, can you join us, please?
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
I want one tug to be made fast by the center lead forward, the other by the center. Now, during the passage, I would like you to monitor our exact progress. Please tell me if you have any doubts about any of my actions. Agreed?
Agreed.
Challenge and response. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to define challenge and response. Recognize the importance to safety of establishing a challenge and response environment. Recognize that the whole team is involved in challenge and response.
Visibility is getting worse. We'll change course at the fourth buoy.
Okay, at the fourth buoy.
027.
027.
Visibility is getting worse. We'll change course at the fourth buoy.
Okay, at the fourth buoy.
027.
027. But we still have one more buoy to go.
You're right. Port 20.
Short-term strategy. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to remember the 5 steps of short-term strategy. 1. Identify the problem. 2. Build the plans. 3. Check the plans. 4. Summary, briefing, and 5. Monitor.
Okay, let's summarise. Because of the dangerous cylinders, the rolling and the weather forecast, we can't wait. So, first of all, Joseph will pump ballast into the number 2 port double bottom. That will give us a 5-degree list.
Okay.
Now, once we're in the lee, I want you two to lead a party of 4 men with lash bands and wedges and secure those rolls. And be careful. They're very heavy. I don't want any injuries.
Okay.
If any of the cylinders are damaged, there may be a gas leak. I don't want any explosions either. Okay, what have we forgotten?
We'll report all progress to the bridge.
Good. All agree? Okay, David, could you give Stavros the good news and tell him to wake up his men?
Right away.
And all of you, take care.
Authority and assertiveness. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to define authority and assertiveness. Recognize the need for a balance between authority and assertiveness. State possible reasons for extremes. And state the dangers of the 4 extreme combinations.
267. Shouldn't we state?
I said 267.
But that will mean...
Are you questioning my command?
No. 267.
Thank you. You're too far to port. Come starboard.
Look, it's deep enough here.
Starboard 10.
Starboard 10.
It's not necessary.
It's my ship. We're dead on the line you set last night. That was last night.
Would you like a coffee?
Better ask the master if I'm allowed coffee. 2 coffees, please, Ralph.
Management style. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to state 5 management styles, state how to identify them, and how to respond to them.
So you want to know how I do my job? Look, I've got a schedule to keep. Okay, I'll give you some advice. I went to sea when I was 15. It's in my blood. In those days, men were men, and the seas were higher, and the nights were darker. I had to learn the hard way. So now I've been selected for the job, I take the decisions. I'm in charge of the ship. I represent the company. If anything goes wrong, it's my responsibility. You've heard stories about how tough I am. Not true. I'm firm. And if you pull your weight, I'm even fair. Results are the only thing that matters. All I ask is that each man does his job. No more and no less. Hi. Nice to see you. I'll help in any way I can. So you want to know how I run my ship? Mind if I sit? More friendly that way. Well, my job is to keep everyone happy. People don't need me to boss them around all the time. I'm there to make sure everything runs nice and smoothly. Pilots? No problem. They take charge. That's what they're paid for. If you trust them and treat them well and create a friendly atmosphere, you get along fine. Let's face it, we're all human. So if someone makes a mistake, then he or she knows it.
Workload. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to recognize a range of workloads. Underload, normal, high and overload. recognize the importance of pre-planning. State problems at the start and during delegation, and state how to delegate correctly.
I've reviewed the voyage, and to me, it looks pretty straightforward. So, to make things more interesting, I suggest we change some of our normal duties. We'll all learn a little more, and we should be able to improve our standard procedures. What do you have in mind? I want John to produce a detailed passage plan for the whole voyage. That should be good practice. Dieter can help.
That can be difficult. Let me do it. Thanks. Have you checked the wheel over points? The first is here. Yes? Already done. What about allowing for the current during the passage? I used the average figures from the last 2 voyages. Look, I have done this before. I wouldn't do that if I were you. If I could just finish this first. I'm only trying to help. I know, but could you review it later?
State of the bridge. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to describe the 6 states of the bridge. +3, alarmed. +2, concerned. +1, optimum. -1, bored. -2, inattentive. -3, inattentive at a critical phase. List the factors that affect the states and recognize the states.
You're early.
I couldn't sleep. Where are we?
On track.
But we're on 294.
Master's instructions. We're running a little late, so we're going right over the shallows. It's no problem. The old man and I always take this shortcut.
But there's a lot of fishing vessels.
Well, don't worry. They're only small ones.
There may be a danger of squat. It's pretty shallow here.
Squat? You only get that at school.
Isn't that a fishing boat?
It's miles away. Relax.
But it's crossing into our way.
Well, it'll soon move if it knows what's good for it. All right, don't cry. If it makes you happy, course 305.
305.
The banks!
For God's sake, make your mind up. Steady on 294.
294.
Let me take over.
The old man said I should stay on till we're past the banks. I'll be okay.
We're getting too close to that trawler. Should we try to contact her?
There's no point. They probably don't speak a word of English. Okay, I'll sound the horn.
They've put the knock lights on. Port 20.
What? Can't be.
Port 20! Port 20!
Port 20.
She's not responding fast enough.
What?
It's the shallow water. Harder port!
No, full astern.
No, that will make it worse. Harder port will take us into the open.
Harder port.
Harder port.
Right. We're back on track again. Thanks for stepping in back there. You nearly had a first voyage you won't forget.
Don't worry, I won't forget it.
Human involvement in errors. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to state some underlying causes of accidents, state some causes of external errors, state some causes of internal errors, and state a policy for responding to and learning from errors.
Oh, it's been a long day. I hope my dinner's ready.
Dinner? You're lucky. My wife works. But tomorrow we're going out to have dinner at the restaurant.
What was that?
What?
I think I saw a light over there.
Probably just a reflection.
No, there's an echo. God, that was close! Why don't these people use proper lights?
They did. Look. But it's very difficult. All the lights in the background. We better ship up.
You're right.
Judgment and decision-making. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to state the factors affecting judgment and decision-making, state the process of decision-making, and state how hidden pressure can influence judgment and decision-making.
Tell me why I agreed to go with. 4-6, the 4 knot tide at this bloody entrance. I should have asked for a pilot by helicopter. Now we have to hold here.
There was no helicopter for another hour. We'd have no choice. And I'd rather be in here than out there. We're diverted, remember? Pilot will be on board soon. I know his entrance.
The weather isn't getting any better either.
Cheer up, it's not snowing. One way or the other, we have to get further upriver. I can see the pilot boat coming.
I'll put it in slow ahead for a while. Tell me if you can't steer her anymore.
Okay, I'll tell you.
I'll go meet the pilot.
Okay, channel 2 on the walkie-talkie, please.
Channel, please.
Leadership in emergencies. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to state different types of emergency, state a strategy for dealing with emergencies, state different leadership styles.
How much room do you have?
About half a mile to the fishing boat.
I'll take a look at the chart to see if we have enough water around.
Shall I slow down?
You're in command.
I'll slow down. I better get the boatswain to prepare the anchors. This is the bridge. It looks like the rudder is locked. Please go check in the steering engine room. Now call me when you get any information. Boatswain, this is the bridge. The rudder's locked. Please go forward at once and prepare both anchors. Take your walkie-talkie.
We still have about a mile to the nearest shallows on the starboard side.
Well, we better send up the not under command signal as well.
Okay, I'll get the watchman to do it.
Thanks. But please phone the bridge when it's done. Good news. He found a short circuit. He's going to replace some wires and the fuse should take about 15 minutes. Are we still clear of that fishing boat?
Yes, and we still have a couple of cables to the banks.
Bit close. I better back her up.
Bridge forecastle, both anchors are ready.
Thank you, boatswain. Please keep standby.
This concludes the Bridge Resource Management Refresher Program.